Why Good Vibes Only is Destroying Your Brain, the dark truth about toxic positivity. Good vibes only sounds harmless, but here's the dark truth. Forcing positivity can rewire your stress system, spike cortisol, and quietly wreck your focus, sleep, and relationships. If you've ever felt worse after trying to think happy thoughts, you're not broken, the method is. In this video, I'll show you what toxic positivity really is, why suppressing emotions backfires like holding beach balls underwater, what it does to your brain and body, and the simple validation habits that lower stress without losing optimism. What toxic positivity is and isn't. Let's get clear fast. Toxic positivity is not optimism. It's not hope. It's not gratitude. It's the pressure to be upbeat no matter what, denying or downplaying difficult emotions, yours or someone else's. Think, everything happens for a reason. Don't be negative, at least. The thing most people miss is the denial baked into it. Healthy positivity says, this is hard, and I can still act. Toxic positivity says, this isn't hard, smile. Why does that matter? Because emotions are data. They flag needs, boundaries, and risks. When you mute them, you lose signal. This clicked for me when I heard the beach ball analogy therapists use. Try holding 5 beach balls underwater. You can for a moment, but your arms burn, attention narrows, and eventually one explodes to the surface in the worst way. That's suppression. The reason this matters isn't just psychological, it's physiological. Research shows suppression ramps up stress physiology. Meta-analytic and laboratory findings link suppression to greater neuroendocrine reactivity. Hello Cortisol, ADA. Everyday Health Guide. Psychiatry Research, 2022. Cortisol isn't evil. It helps in acute stress. But chronically elevated cortisol impairs memory, increases blood pressure, and alters immune function. The result? You feel scattered, snap at people, get sick more, sleep worse, and blame yourself for not being positive enough. There's the trap. Now here's where most people mess up. They confuse acknowledging pain with dwelling. But validation isn't wallowing. It's accurate labeling. I'm angry. This deadline is unrealistic, which helps the prefrontal cortex regulate the amygdala. When you suppress, you strain that regulatory loop. Recent work in effective neuroscience reports altered prefrontal, amygdala connectivity in habitual suppressors, which makes emotions harder to manage over time. So the very strategy meant to keep you together makes you more reactive. Let me show you exactly how this plays out socially. A friend says, I'm overwhelmed. The toxic positive reply, just stay positive. It sounds supportive, but it sends a covert message. Your feeling is wrong. The quick payoff is the discomfort goes away, for you. For them, it adds shame and isolation. They stop sharing, issues go underground, and connection erodes. In workplaces, this becomes cultural. We don't do negativity here. Translation: problems never surface until they explode. The game changer nobody talks about is context. Positivity is helpful when it fits reality. Encouragement after a minor setback? Great. Telling someone with grief or burnout to focus on the bright side? That's misattunement. According to clinicians and research on emotional regulation, suppression predicts more distress, including higher suicidal ideation in stressed groups. Psychiatry Research, 2022. And in long-term data, people who habitually suppress, agreeing with statements like, I try to be pleasant so others won't get upset, had higher all-cause mortality risk over 12 years. Journal of Psychosomatic Research, 2013. That's not internet drama. That's health records. You might be thinking, so am I supposed to be negative? No. You need emotional range with precision. Here's the shortcut nobody teaches. Swap forced positivity for 2 skills, validation and realistic optimism. Validation: name and normalize the feeling. Realistic optimism: commit to action that's possible now. This is tough, and here's one step I can take. That sentence lowers physiological arousal and keeps agency. Common mistakes to avoid: toxic reframes like at least, timeline pressure like you should be over this, and comparative suffering. Others have it worse. These all invalidate. Instead, try, that sounds hard. Want to talk solutions or just vent? It's a tiny permission slip that restores connection and keeps problem solving on the table. If you remember nothing else, positivity is a tool, not a rule. When it's forced, it becomes denial. When it's grounded in reality, it becomes courage. Next, we'll dig into the dark psychology behind good vibes only, how it hijacks your stress axis, and the neuroscience of why naming emotions lowers cortisol faster than pretending they aren't there. Why we default to toxic positivity, sociocultural drivers. So why do smart, caring people default to good vibes only, in the first place? It isn't because we're shallow. It's because we're swimming in a culture that rewards cheerfulness and punishes discomfort. Start with social media. You're shown highlight reels, vacations, promotions, clean kitchens. So your brain learns a simple rule. Positive posts get attention, negative ones don't. Over time, you internalize the algorithm. You curate yourself in real life too, smoothing rough edges to stay likable. Workplaces amplify it. Many teams confuse morale with silence around problems. Leaders say, "We value positivity," which often means, "Please don't make me uncomfortable." When layoffs hit or goals are unrealistic, forced upbeat talk becomes a shield. Employees pick up the signal. If you want to belong, don't bring the rain. The cost is real. When issues can't be named, they can't be solved. Psychological safety drops, turnover rises, and burnout hides behind a smile. Family scripts matter as well. If you grew up hearing "don't cry, be grateful," or "we don't talk about that," you learned early that difficult emotions threaten connection. As adults, you might rush to reassure. You'll be fine, because that's how love was shown. The intention is comfort, the impact is invalidation. And there's a deeper layer. Many people use positivity to manage their own anxiety. Your friend's sadness triggers helplessness in you, so you offer a bright side fix to calm yourself. It works fast for you, not for them. There's also a cultural story about happiness as a personal achievement. In countries that rank high on happiness indices, the pressure to feel happy all the time actually predicts worse well-being when you don't measure up. If the norm is perpetual cheer, normal sadness feels like failure. That gap creates shame, and shame pushes people to hide, which looks like more positivity. It's a loop. Now throw in self-help slogans. Choose joy, no bad days, manifest it. These lines can motivate, but without nuance they sound like rules. If joy is a choice, then pain is a mistake. So people try to control emotions like their tasks. Delete, mute, replace with affirmations. When those affirmations don't land, especially for folks with low self-esteem, they can backfire. Saying, "I'm thriving," when your nervous system is screaming, "I'm not safe," creates cognitive dissonance, which spikes stress instead of soothing it. The thing most people miss is how institutions incentivize this. Brands prefer upbeat influencers because it sells. Platforms reward content that's easy to digest. Companies promote culture carriers who never complain. You're trained, subtly and constantly, to equate positivity with value. Even in helping professions, there's pressure to reframe quickly, which can rush past grief or anger that needs air. None of this is evil. It's misattunement scaled by systems. And yes, there's genuine confusion between resilience and suppression. Resilience is feeling emotions fully and recovering with support. Suppression is hiding emotions to avoid reactions. They look similar from the outside, someone keeping it together, but inside they diverge. Resilience lowers physiological load, suppression raises it. If you've ever left a meeting smiling and then crashed with headaches or insomnia, your body kept the receipt. I want to add one more driver, the discomfort gap. Most of us never learned the micro skills of sitting with feelings, our own or someone else's. We weren't taught what to say after, "I'm struggling," so we default to platitudes. Skill gaps create mythologies. If you don't know how to validate, you'll assume validation equals wallowing. If you don't know how to set boundaries, you'll think naming pain invites chaos. Toxic positivity fills that vacuum with certainty. Be positive and you'll be fine. So what do we do with all that? First, name the water you're swimming in. Notice where the pressure comes from: algorithms, policies, family sayings. Second, separate intent from impact. You can mean well and still miss. Third, upgrade your scripts. Swap at least with "makes sense you feel that." Swap stay positive with "do you want solutions or support?" Small language shifts signal safety. Here's a quick practice for the next week. 1. Pause before fixing. 2. Reflect the feeling in 10 words or less. 3. Ask a choice question. And 4. If it's you, write one accurate sentence about your state without judgment. That's how you start retraining a culture, one interaction at a time, away from performance and toward presence. Once we stop rewarding the mask, real resilience can show up. The brain under pressure, neurology of suppression. Before we go practical, let's zoom in on what suppression does under the hood. Your brain runs stress on a circuit, The amygdala detects threat, the hypothalamus kicks off the HPA axis, and your adrenals release cortisol. Short bursts? Useful. Chronic drip? That's where good vibes only turns into bad news. When you push feelings down, the amygdala doesn't get resolution, it gets louder. Think of it like a smoke alarm you keep unplugging. It'll blare even harder next time, consistent with HPA axis literature. Here's the why. Suppression is a top-down command. Don't feel that. The prefrontal cortex has to hold that line, which is metabolically expensive. Meanwhile, the amygdala keeps flagging the original signal. Meta-analytic and experimental studies on suppression and stress physiology show greater neuroendocrine reactivity, meaning higher stress hormone responses. When people habitually clamp down, Psychiatry Research, 2022, ADA summaries. Translation: your body pays for the mask with cortisol. Cortisol helps mobilize energy in a sprint, but in a marathon it starts to remodel brain real estate. The hippocampus, which helps you consolidate memory and put events in context, is sensitive to chronic cortisol. Over time, you get foggier recall, weaker context tagging, and a brain that's worse at telling, "This is uncomfortable," from "This is dangerous." Now, you might be thinking, "But I'm fine, I just keep it positive." Let me give you a quick litmus test. After a tense call, do you feel wired but wiped? Do you sleep but wake unrefreshed? Do small asks feel huge? That's not personality, that's load. Suppression doesn't just silence feelings, it jams your regulation loop. Recent studies in emotional regulation report altered connectivity between the prefrontal cortex and amygdala in people who chronically suppress. When that bridge weakens, naming emotions, which normally dials the amygdala down, loses potency. So the next stressor hits harder, and your be positive muscle has to push even more. It's an expensive, losing game. And yes, the beach ball analogy is more than a metaphor. Holding 5 feelings underwater requires constant muscular control, your prefrontal cortex. As fatigue sets in, one ball rockets up at the worst moment. Snapping at a teammate, crying in traffic, doom scrolling at 1 a.m. Physiologically, those launches look like spikes. Heart rate up, vascular resistance up, cortisol up. A quantitative review and multiple lab studies on suppression found greater neuroendocrine reactivity during stress tasks. Psychiatry Research, 2022. That reactivity is your nervous system saying, "We're not done here." No matter how many gratitude-only quotes you tape to your mirror. There's another cost, attentional narrowing. When the amygdala runs hot, your brain prioritizes threat detection over creative problem solving. That's why forced cheer during a tough sprint actually tanks performance. You can feel it in meetings, surface smiles, shallow breaths, zero real ideas. Your brain is busy. And when you live like this, the stress axis can drift from flexible to trigger happy. Eventually, neutral emails feel like danger, feedback feels like attack, and recovery windows shrink. Now, here's the good news. The same system is trainable in the other direction. Labeling emotions, simple, accurate words, lights up prefrontal circuits that calm the amygdala. That's why validation works. It restores the regulatory loop you sever when you suppress. There's a reason people report their shoulders dropping the second someone says, "That's hard." It's not magic, it's downshifting physiology. Let me show you how fast this can flip. Try this micro drill the next time your chest tightens. Step 1. Exhale slowly, longer than your inhale. That nudges your vagus nerve and tells your body, "We're safe enough." Step 2. Name the emotion and the trigger in one sentence. "I'm anxious about the deadline." Step 3. State one controllable action. "I'll list the first 3 tasks." You just moved from amygdala throttle to prefrontal steer. Most people skip step 2 and jump straight to think positive. That keeps the amygdala screaming behind the scenes. Common mistakes. Confusing distraction with regulation. Scrolling is distraction. Mantras without acknowledgement are distraction. Both can be fine for a minute, but without a label and choose cycle, cortisol keeps circulating. Another mistake is timeline shaming, telling yourself you should be over it. That adds a second stressor, self-criticism, on top of the first. 2 alarms, 1 brain. A quick micro-story. Last month, a manager I coach kept replying, "All good," to every escalation. Her team stopped surfacing problems, she stopped sleeping. We swapped one habit. Every time an issue hit, she wrote a 2-line memo to herself, feeling and fact, then one next step. Within 2 weeks, her resting heart rate dropped, She started problem solving earlier, and her team shared more because she stopped broadcasting fake calm. The difference wasn't more positivity. It was precision. If you remember nothing else from this section, suppression is a stress multiplier. Validation is a stress regulator. The brain isn't asking you to marinate in pain. It's asking for accurate data, so it can shut the alarm off. Next, we'll turn that into a toolkit you can use with yourself and with other people, so you keep your optimism and your nervous system. Physiology of good vibes only stress. Let's break down the body math of forced cheer. When you slap a positive spin on a negative state without acknowledging it, you trigger a paradox. The stress system ramps up to keep the lid on. The amygdala flags a threat. The hypothalamus fires the HPA axis. Cortisol enters the chat. In short blasts, that's adaptive. But good vibes only makes it chronic, because the original emotion never gets processed. It's held underwater, so your system keeps pumping energy to hold it down. The thing most people miss is that suppression isn't neutral effort. It's physiologically expensive. Meta-analyses on suppression and stress reactivity show greater neuroendocrine responses when people clamp down. Translation: more cortisol for the same stressor. That extra dose doesn't just make you feel stressed. It changes what your body prioritizes, shifting blood flow, tightening vasculature, spiking heart rate. You get jittery focus, not clear focus, vigilance, not problem solving. Here's the sequence in everyday terms. You get bad news. Your body mobilizes. If you name it, I'm scared about this result. Prefrontal circuits help downshift the alarm. If you paste over it, it's fine, I'm blessed. The amygdala reads mismatch, not safety. Mismatch equals uncertainty, and uncertainty keeps cortisol cycling. That's why your jaw stays tight at night, even when you decide to be positive. Now, why does the beach ball analogy matter here? Because your nervous system behaves like your arms in a pool. Holding 5 balls down requires constant contraction. As fatigue builds, microleaks appear: irritability, shallow breathing, tunnel vision. Then one ball rockets up, a sharp comment, a sob you didn't see coming, a binge scroll. Physiologically, these pops look like acute spikes layered on chronic elevation. It's not weakness, it's physics. Let me show you exactly how this shows up across systems. Cognitively, cortisol bathes the hippocampus, which is rich in receptors. Over time, consolidation and context tagging get sloppy. You forget where you put things, misread tone in emails, and react to maybe like it's definitely. In the prefrontal cortex, sustained inhibition to keep emotions quiet drains working memory and executive bandwidth. That's why you can't hold a plan in mind while you're forcing a smile. Cardiovascularly, suppression increases vascular resistance. Your heart works harder to push against tighter pipes. That's the mid-meeting flush, the pulsing temples, the headaches that don't respond to water. Immunologically, chronic cortisol can dysregulate immune function. You catch colds more easily, or you white-knuckle through and then crash on vacation. None of this means positivity is bad. It means denial is expensive. A quick micro-story to ground it. A client insisted on no negativity during a product crisis. Daily stand-ups became pep rallies. Genuine risks went underground. Within weeks, sleep tanked across the team. People reported chest tightness, and small defects multiplied because no one wanted to be the downer. We flipped one lever. Each stand-up started with a 60-second signal scan. 3 facts, 1 feeling label, 1 risk. Physiology shifted. People breathed deeper. HRV improved on their wearables. The wins returned because the alarms were heard. Now here's where most people mess up. They try to fight physiology with slogans. Choose joy doesn't open constricted vasculature. Gratitude only doesn't restore prefrontal bandwidth when the amygdala is blaring. What does? Simple regulatory moves that tell the body the threat is mapped. Slow exhale to engage parasympathetic tone. Accurate label to light up language regions that tether emotion. One controllable action to convert arousal into directed energy. That triad lowers cortisol more reliably than plastering on a grin. Common pitfalls to avoid. Stacking stressors by shaming your stress. I shouldn't feel this, which adds self-threat on top of situational threat. Comparing yourself out of your feelings. Others have it worse, which invalidates and keeps the loop open. And timeline policing. Be over it by Friday, which turns recovery into another performance. If you remember nothing else, remember this checkpoint. Emotion acknowledged equals alarm processed. Emotion suppressed equals alarm prolonged. Good vibes only teaches your body to waste fuel holding beach balls under the surface. Realistic optimism teaches your body to surface them, skim off the information, and swim stronger. That's not fluffy talk. That's how your nervous system economizes. Relationship fallout, suppression, and connection. Let's bring this home to relationships, because good vibes only doesn't just stress you out, it quietly drains connection. When you suppress, you cut the wire that intimacy runs on, emotional visibility. If your partner can't see what's true for you, they counter-tune. From the outside, it looks calm. Inside, it's distance. Here's the why, what, how. Why it matters. Trust isn't built on constant positivity. It's built on consistent reality. When you say, "I'm fine," while your shoulders are up to your ears, your partner senses mismatch. That mismatch triggers uncertainty, which the brain reads as threat. Threat turns off curiosity and turns on self-protection. Suddenly, two people are smiling and neither feels safe. What's happening under the surface is the same physiology we covered. Suppression spikes load. Interactions with a suppressing partner are measurably more stressful. Blood pressure ticks up for both people because the nervous system keeps searching for the missing signal. Relationship research on suppression and physiological arousal. Over time, that pressure reshapes behavior. You avoid hard topics. You aim for smooth. Conflicts get short-circuited, not solved. Resentment becomes the background music. Now here's where most people mess up. They confuse harmony with health. Harmony without honesty is brittle. One tough week, and it shatters. The thing most people miss is that emotion isn't a threat to love. It's the data love runs on. When you hide it, your partner has to guess. Guessing drains empathy. Drained empathy turns into stories. They don't care. I'm too much. We're not compatible. Those stories become self-fulfilling. Let me show you exactly how suppression multiplies. What starts as a small silence becomes a system. You have a bad day. You don't want to be negative, so you swallow it. Your partner senses something and asks, "You good?" You say, "All good." The conversation stays shallow. Later, they make a small request that lands like a demand because your bandwidth is gone. You snap, feel guilty, and then overcorrect with extra positivity the next day to make up for it. That ping-pong teaches both of you that emotions are unsafe. Connection narrows to logistics. There's relationship fallout at scale too. Teams, families, friend groups. In groups where no negativity is an unspoken rule, the most caring people often burn out first because they carry the invisible issues alone. Psychological safety collapses. People stop asking for help. Isolation rises. And isolation is a predictor of future increases in depressive symptoms. It's not just awkward, it's a risk factor. A quick micro-story. A couple I worked with prided themselves on never fighting. Underneath, they were both suppressors. He avoided bringing up workload stress. She avoided talking about feeling unseen after the baby. Their motto was "We choose joy." Their bodies told the truth. Headaches, insomnia, weekend collapses. We introduced one ritual. 5 minutes nightly, one feeling word each, one concrete impact, no fixing. The first week felt clunky. By week 3, they were laughing more, weirdly enough, because the pressure to be cheerful vanished. Sex returned. Sleep improved. Nothing positive was added. Suppression was removed. Now, let's turn that into moves you can use without turning your living room into a therapy office. Share the headline, not the novel. One sentence is enough. "I'm edgy from today's deadlines." That's a clear signal your partner can work with. Ask for the format. Do you want empathy or ideas? That question prevents platitudes and aligns support. Validate before you pivot. That sounds heavy, costs 2 seconds, and opens the door to problem solving without shutting feelings down. Set a time box for hard talks. 10 focused minutes beats 90 minutes of avoidance. Scarcity reduces dread. Use state plus stake. I'm anxious, and I want us to stay on the same team. That signals emotion and intention together. Common mistakes to avoid. At least statements that minimize pain. Hijacking with your own story right away. Speed fixing, and smiling through tears because you don't want to ruin the vibe. That last one is the quiet killer. The vibe gets healthier when reality is welcomed. If you remember nothing else, remember this. Suppression looks like self-control, but in relationships it reads as unavailability. Intimacy needs signal, not performance. Replace the glossy, "I'm fine" with accurate, bite-sized truth, and you'll feel the nervous system shift. Softer shoulders, slower breaths, kinder interpretations. That's connection repairing itself in real time. Shame, gaslighting, and isolation loops. Now we need to talk about the dark spiral that makes good vibes only so sticky. Shame, gaslighting, and isolation. This is the loop that quietly keeps people stuck, even when they know something feels off. Here's the why. When a real feeling meets a forced bright side, the covert message is, you shouldn't feel that. That's shame. There's something wrong with me for hurting. Shame is a shutdown emotion. It pulls your gaze inward, narrows attention, and makes you hide. And hiding is gasoline for stress. Remember the beach balls? Shame adds another ball to hold under. What most people miss is how quickly this morphs into gaslighting, sometimes without any malicious intent. Gaslighting is a pattern that makes you doubt your reality. Toxic positivity can become gaslighting when the response to your pain is chronically, "It's not that bad. Don't be so dramatic," or "You're being negative." Over time, your nervous system learns not to trust its own signals. The amygdala fires. Your social world says it shouldn't. That mismatch keeps the alarm active. Your body keeps paying with cortisol while your mind questions the bill. Everyday health, ADA. Let me show you the loop in motion. You tell a coworker, "I'm slammed and stressed." They reply, "At least we still have jobs. Just keep smiling." Impact. You feel small and unreasonable. Shame clicks on. Now you're stressed about being stressed. Next meeting, you withhold the truth to avoid that feeling. Isolation creeps in. With fewer honest signals, your team misses early risks. Problems escalate, and when they finally surface, everyone's physiology is already spiking. That's the loop. Invalidation, shame, withdrawal, bigger problems, more pressure to be positive, more invalidation. At home, the loop sounds like, "You're fine. Be grateful." It lands as, "Your nervous system is wrong." That's gaslighting territory. The brain hates uncertainty more than it hates bad news, so it tries to resolve the tension by doubting you. You start second-guessing every internal cue. Am I overreacting? Am I the problem? That doubt delays help-seeking. And the longer emotions go unprocessed, the higher the physiological cost. Sleep debt, headaches, irritability, plus a growing story that you're too sensitive. Here's the part nobody teaches. Shame blocks repair because it collapses curiosity. If I'm wrong for feeling, I can't explore what the feeling is pointing to. And without exploration, there's no problem to solve, only a self to fix. That's how people end up chasing more positivity hacks instead of safety, boundaries, or rest. So how do we interrupt this? 3 moves. First, name the invalidation explicitly, without heat. When I hear "stay positive," I feel dismissed. I'm not asking to spiral, I'm asking to be heard. That's a clean mirror. It reduces the instinct to defend and restores signal. Second, validate yourself before you speak. 1 sentence. My body's alarm makes sense given the load. Self-validation turns down shame enough to ask for what you need: time, clarity, or help, without over-explaining. Third, create anti-gaslighting anchors. Write a brief reality check you can revisit. 3 facts, 1 feeling, 1 next step. 3 deadlines this week, 2 late dependencies, 1 sick kid. I'm overwhelmed. I'll renegotiate scope by noon. Facts stabilize the prefrontal cortex. The feeling label calms the amygdala. The step converts arousal to action. If you're on the receiving end, use the validation sandwich. Start with empathy. That sounds heavy. Add a question. Do you want ideas or just a witness? Then, only if invited, bring a concrete option. Skip at least. Skip comparisons, skip timelines. Those are shame accelerants. A quick microstory. A founder kept telling her team, "We don't do negativity." Attrition rose. We replaced the phrase with, "We don't do shame. We do signal." Every status doc added a red flags, line plus, how it feels. Within a month, issues surfaced earlier, meetings shortened, and people reported fewer Sunday dread spikes. Nothing mystical, just removing gaslighting and giving emotions a job. If you remember nothing else, validation breaks the loop. Shame loses oxygen when feelings are seen. Gaslighting collapses when facts and feelings sit side by side. Isolation dissolves when signals are safe to send. That's how you protect brains, bodies, and bonds, without losing optimism. Passivity, avoidance, and real-world consequences. Now here's where good vibes only quietly derails your life. It turns action into avoidance. When you suppress, your brain treats the stressor as handled. So you delay the hard step, renegotiating a deadline, booking the doctor, having the awkward conversation. Short term, you feel relief. Long term, unaddressed problems grow teeth. That's passivity, Not a personality flaw, a physiological byproduct of holding those beach balls down. Why this matters? Avoidance keeps the stress loop open. Cortisol stays elevated while the root issue festers. You get the worst combo, body in overdrive, hands off the wheel. In real terms, that looks like procrastination masked as positivity. I'm sure it'll work out, replaces. Let's check the numbers. We've got this, replaces, we're understaffed. What's plan B? The optimism sounds bold, but it's actually a retreat from data. Let me show you exactly how this plays out at work. A team's launch is at risk. Someone raises a dependency. The leader replies, let's keep the energy high, no negativity. Result, the risk loses airtime. Days pass. Costs rise. Fire drills replace planning. People assume positivity equals progress, but progress requires problem exposure. When issues can't be named, timeline slips become surprises, and surprises drain trust. Eventually, top performers leave, not because it's hard, but because reality has no microphone. In healthcare, passivity looks different, but hits harder. A clinician notices burnout, sleep fragmentation, irritability, charting backlog. They tell themselves, others have it worse. I'm fine. That self-comparison keeps them from seeking support. Symptoms escalate, patient errors increase. The system often praises the cheerful grinder, but the data's clear. Suppression predicts more distress and poorer regulation, which means worse outcomes. Avoiding the signal has real stakes. At home, avoidance wears a smile. You tell yourself the finances will balance out, so you avoid opening the statements. You insist the relationship is great, so you don't bring up the increasing distance. Bills pile, resentment accrues interest. Then come the spikes, an overdraft fee, a blow-up over dishes that's not about dishes. People call this sudden. But the timeline is built from 1,000 tiny avoidances wrapped in positive language. The thing most people miss is that passivity isn't laziness. It's load management gone wrong. Your nervous system is already burning fuel to suppress, so it chooses the path with less immediate discomfort. That's why forced affirmations can backfire for low self-esteem folks. They add dissonance, not capacity. You feel worse, so you act less. Let's flip it. The antidote to passivity is reality-linked microaction. Not grand plans. One step that proves to your brain there's movement. Here's a simple framework you can use today. Acknowledge in 10 words. I'm anxious about the budget shortfall. Identify the smallest controllable. Pull last month's expenses. Set a time box. 15 minutes, then stop. Create a social signal. Text partner. Reviewing expenses at 6. Want to sync? That sequence lowers avoidance by giving arousal a job. You're not being negative. You're closing loops. In teams, use the red risk remedy drill. 1 red flag, 1 concrete risk, 1 proposed remedy with owner and date. Start every meeting with 3 minutes of this before any pep talk. It protects morale by protecting reality. Leaders swap keep it positive for surface the signal. Reward the messenger. That single cultural flip turns learned passivity into practiced ownership. In relationships, replace blanket optimism with time-bound plans. We're good becomes we're tired and need a 20-minute check-in Sunday. Ask, what would reduce this by 10%? Tiny reductions build momentum. And when shame tries to stall you, use the 3-part reset. Fact, feeling, first move. We argued twice this week. I feel distant. I'll plan a walk and talk. Common mistakes to avoid. Waiting for motivation before action. Using positivity to justify delay. Jumping to solutions without naming the problem. And treating discomfort as a stop sign instead of a compass. If you remember nothing else, remember this. Optimism should pull action forward, not push problems underground. Reality first, then resolve. That's how you keep your brain calm and your life moving. Healthy positivity versus toxic positivity. The operating manual. Think of positivity like a tool belt. Used well, it helps you lift heavy days. Used wrong, it strips the screws and splits the wood. So here's the operating manual. What healthy positivity is, what toxic positivity is, and exactly how to tell the difference in real time. Start with purpose. Healthy positivity aims to support regulation and action. It says, let's face what is and move one step. Toxic positivity aims to erase discomfort. It says, don't feel that, feel this. One reduces stress by mapping reality. The other increases stress by fighting reality. Now the mechanics. Healthy positivity pairs 2 moves, validation and realistic optimism. Validation is the signal. your reaction fits the situation. Realistic optimism is the question. Given that, what's one useful step? Together, they quiet the amygdala and recruit prefrontal control. That's not fluffy. That's how naming emotions and naming actions lower physiological arousal. Toxic positivity drops both moves. It skips the feeling, slaps on a slogan, and leaves your stress axis humming. Here's a quick field test you can use anywhere, the fit test. Ask, does this positive statement fit the facts and the person's capacity right now? If yes, healthy. If it requires denying pain, compressing a timeline, or pretending control you don't have, that's toxic. You've handled tough deadlines. Let's map the next 3 tasks, usually fits. You've got this, stop being negative, usually doesn't. Language tells on us. Toxic phrases tend to start with at least, don't, just, or should. They minimize, command, or compare. Healthy positivity starts with makes sense, I'm with you, and, or let's. They validate and invite. Swap, at least it's not worse, for makes sense this is heavy, and we can break it down. One adds shame, the other adds oxygen. Timing matters. Healthy positivity respects sequence. Feel first, frame second, move third. Toxic positivity flips the order. Frame first, block the feeling, then push movement. Sequence changes chemistry. When the feeling is acknowledged, cortisol can drop. When it's blocked, cortisol sticks around. That's the beach ball lesson in action. Process a little air out before you try to swim. Scope matters too. Healthy positivity is specific and testable. Let's send the email by 3 and take a walk after is grounded. Toxic positivity is vague and unfalsifiable. Good vibes only can't be measured, so you can't win. Vague goals keep alarms on. Specific goals give the body a finish line. Context is your compass. Healthy positivity matches the weight of the moment. Encouragement after a minor setback? Helpful. Silver linings after a loss or diagnosis? Harmful. The same sentence can be healthy or toxic depending on context and consent. If you're unsure, ask permission. Want to brainstorm or want company? Consent is the difference between support and steamroll. Let's make this practical with the praise checklist. It's a quick scan to keep positivity healthy. P. Permission. Did I ask whether they want ideas or presents? R. Reality. Did I reflect the key fact or feeling first? A. Alignment. Does my tone match their state? I. Increment. Am I offering one doable next step? S. Specificity. Is my statement concrete, not a vague mantra? E. Exit. Did I give space to pause if they're flooded? Run praise in your head before you speak. If any box is empty, slow down. Now self-talk. Healthy positivity in your own head sounds like, this is scary, and I can take one step. Toxic self-talk sounds like, stop being dramatic, be grateful. The first lowers resistance and recruits energy. The second stacks threat on threat. Quick reframe, trade but for and. I'm tired, and I'll write for 10 minutes. And holds both truths without cancelling either. Micro examples to lock it in, friend. I blew the interview. Toxic. Don't say that, think positive. Healthy. That stings. Want feedback or event? Teammate. We're behind. Toxic. We got this, no negativity. Healthy. True, we're 2 days back. Let's triage 3 tasks. Self. I'm overwhelmed. Toxic. You should be grateful. Healthy. Overwhelm makes sense. Set a 15-minute timer and start the outline. What about gratitude and affirmations? Use them after validation, not instead. Gratitude widens perspective once the alarm is heard. Affirmations work when believable and specific. I can write one clear paragraph. Not grand pronouncements your nervous system can't buy. 2 common traps to avoid. First, comparative optimism. Others have it worse. It may be factually true and still emotionally invalidating. Pain doesn't resolve by ranking. Second, timeline cheering. You'll bounce back in no time. You can't promise pace. Offer presence and process. Let physiology set timing. If you remember nothing else, remember this litmus test. Healthy positivity leaves you or the other person with low attention and a clear next move. Toxic positivity leaves high attention and a smile that feels heavy. One teaches your brain the world is navigable. The other teaches your brain the world is unsafe unless you pretend. Choose the first. The validation toolkit, phrases, questions, and boundaries. Let's turn the science into scripts you can use today. The goal here is simple. Low attention fast, keep agency high, and prevent the good vibes only spiral. Think of this like a menu. Pick one phrase, one question, and one boundary that fits the moment. Start with core validation phrases. These are short, specific, and regulate physiology because they match reality. That makes sense given what you're dealing with. I can see why that would feel heavy. You're not overreacting. This is a lot. I'm with you. It's okay to be upset about this. Notice the pattern. No fixing, no minimizing, no timelines. You're telling the nervous system, signal received. Now layer in precision reflex. Reflect the feeling and a concrete detail in one line. You're frustrated about the changing deadline. You're anxious because the scope keeps growing. You're sad about how the conversation ended. This shows you're tracking, not just nodding. It reduces that "I'm alone with this" sensation that spikes cortisol. Questions keep you from steamrolling. Use consent questions to set the right lane. Do you want ideas or just a witness right now? Would it help to vent for 2 minutes or map next steps? What would feel most useful, empathy or a plan? If they say witness, give silence and eye contact. If they say plan, move to problem solving with one small action. When you do offer ideas, pair them with autonomy. One option is X. How does that land? We could try A or B, which feels lighter. What's a 10% improvement we can make today? Autonomy matters. Choice reduces threat and restores prefrontal control. Boundaries protect both people from sliding into fixing, rescuing, or emotional overdrive. Healthy boundaries are clear, kind, and specific. I can listen for 10 minutes, then I need to jump to a call. I want to help, and I don't have the answer tonight. Can we revisit tomorrow? I can't take this on, but I can help you outline the first email. I'm not available for venting right now. Can we set a time later? Boundaries prevent resentment and keep validation sustainable. Use the 2-2-1 flow for hot moments. 2 validations, 2 questions, 1 boundary. That sounds heavy. It makes sense you're upset. Do you want ideas or just space? What would help right now? I can stay for 10 minutes. For yourself, switch to internal validation plus a microplan. This is overwhelming, and it makes sense. Set a 5-minute timer and draft the first paragraph. If you catch yourself reaching for toxic phrases, at least, just, should, swap them in real time. At least it's not worse becomes, it's hard, and we can chunk it. Just stay positive becomes, do you want empathy or ideas? You should be over this becomes, take the time you need. What's one step today? In teams, institutionalize validation with light structure. Start stand-ups with a 45-second signal plus step round. 1 fact, 1 feeling word, 1 next action. It keeps emotions acknowledged and moves work forward. 2 blockers, feeling stressed. Next step is escalate to ops. For managers, use the care loop. Confirm, ask, resource, exit. Confirm. Given the load, your stress makes sense. Ask, ideas or a witness? Resource. We can bring in support or push the deadline, which helps. Exit. I'll check back at 4. Ping me if you need sooner. With kids, validation is shorter and more concrete. You're mad the game ended. That's okay. Want a 5-minute timer or a rematch after dinner? With grief or serious stress, keep it simple and steady. I'm so sorry. I'm here, and I'm not going anywhere. Want company or quiet? Body cues matter as much as words. Soften your shoulders, unclench your jaw, and slow your exhale while you speak. Your tone carries safety. If you're flooded, say so. I want to be present, and I'm getting overwhelmed. Can we pause for 10 and continue? Common pitfalls to avoid. Stacking advice before consent. Hijacking with your story, timeline cheering, and boundary-less listening that turns into resentment. If you slip, repair fast. I jump to fixing. Let me back up. This is hard. What do you need right now? Finally, create a shared language at home or work. Post a tiny menu where you'll see it. Validations, questions, boundaries. Reps build reflex. The more you practice, the less you need to force positivity, because the nervous system learns. Feelings have a place, solutions have a sequence, and people are safe to be real around. That's how optimism stops being a mask and becomes fuel. Regulating without suppressing. Science-backed coping. Let's make this practical. The goal isn't to marinate in tough feelings. It's to help your nervous system process the signal so your brain can get back to thinking clearly. We want regulation, not repression. Here's a science-backed stack you can run anytime, anywhere. Start with breath that actually changes physiology. Use a slow, extended exhale. Inhale through your nose for 4, exhale through your mouth for 6 to 8. 2 to 3 rounds is enough to nudge the vagus nerve and lower arousal. You're giving your HPA axis a reason to downshift, which sets the stage for everything else to work better. Now label, briefly and specifically. One sentence. I'm angry about the missed deadline, or I'm anxious about the scan tomorrow. This isn't a journal entry. It's tagging the file so the prefrontal cortex can re-engage with the amygdala. Remember, suppression breaks that bridge. Labeling helps rebuild it in real time. Keep it clean, no judgment words like overreacting. Next is cognitive reappraisal. After validation, not instead. Ask 2 questions. What part is controllable? And what story am I telling that I can check? You're not pretending it's fine. You're adjusting the lens to match reality and reduce unnecessary threat. For example, I can't control the result, but I can prepare 3 questions for the doctor. That shift converts raw arousal into directed energy. Then take a micro step that proves movement. Think 60 to 300 seconds. Set a 2-minute timer and outline an email. Open the budget sheet and scan 1 column. Text a friend. Rough day, available later? Micro steps cut avoidance and give your body a win, which lowers cortisol more reliably than repeating a mantra you don't believe. Use social regulation by design. Pick the right witness. Ask consent. Can I vent for 2 minutes, then plan 1 step? Or, ideas or just ears? This prevents invalidation and keeps the loop short. If you're the listener, mirror once. Make sense you're stressed with that load. Then ask, smallest helpful move? You're co-regulating without slipping into toxic fixes. Build a signal shelf. A short list of safe outlets when arousal is high. Options: a brisk 5-minute walk, 10 push-ups and a long exhale, a page of messy journaling you'll shred, a 3-song tidy up. These aren't distractions. They're ways to metabolize the spike, so you can come back to the problem with bandwidth. For recurring stressors, use the 3F scan. Facts, feelings, first move. Write 3 bullet facts about the situation. 1 feeling word. 1 first move you'll take today. Example: 2 client asks, 1 teammate out, scope creep. Feeling tense. First move: renegotiate deadlines by 4 p.m. Facts ground the prefrontal cortex. The feeling tag calms the amygdala. The move reduces uncertainty. Sleep and body basics matter because physiology sets your floor. Aim for a consistent wind down. Dim lights an hour before bed. No heavy problem solving after that. And if your mind spins, externalize it. Write a quick worry list plus the earliest action time. You're telling your brain, this has a parking spot, which helps cortisol stop cycling at night. Use time-bound worry. Schedule a 10-minute worry window in the afternoon. When ruminations pop up, say, not now, 3:30. At 3:30, write the top 3 worries and 1 practical check for each. Ritualizing worry stops it from hijacking your entire day and often reduces total worry time. In groups, operationalize signal without drama. Start meetings with red risk remedy. 1 red flag, the concrete risk, 1 proposed remedy with an owner. Cap at 3 minutes. That structure rewards reality and short circuits, good vibes only, without inviting spirals. Boundaries are regulation too. Say, I can listen for 10, then I need to focus. Or, I can help outline the email, but I can't own it. Boundaries reduce overload, which reduces suppression pressure later. Watch for common traps. If you catch yourself using at least, pause and swap to, and I'm scared, and I'll email for clarity. If you feel the urge to plaster over pain with a slogan, do 1 exhale and 1 label first. If an affirmation feels fake, shrink it until it's believable. I can do the first 5 minutes. Finally, practice on easy reps, so it's there for hard ones. Pick 1 routine trigger, traffic, a snarky comment, inbox bloat, and run the sequence. Breath, label, reappraise, micro-step, boundary if needed. The more you train in low stakes, the more automatic it becomes when the stakes rise. Regulation isn't about never feeling bad. It's about helping your body register the signal, process it, and move. That's how you keep optimism as fuel, not a mask. Special cases, when positivity hurts most. There are moments when positivity doesn't just miss, it wounds. Let's get specific so you can spot the danger zones and switch strategies fast. Aligned with clinical guidance from everyday health, ADA, and workplace research. Grief is the clearest one. After a loss, they're in a better place, or at least they lived a long life. Lands like a lid on a boiling pot. Grief needs air. Forced bright sides spike shame and delay mourning. which keeps the body's alarm running. Better. I'm so sorry. I'm here. No need to be okay. That's not indulging sadness. That's giving the nervous system permission to metabolize it. Medical uncertainty is another. When someone's waiting on scans or managing a diagnosis, think positive. Your beat this sounds supportive, but quietly blames them if outcomes aren't rosy. The stress system hates fake certainty. It reads mismatch as threat and keeps cortisol cycling. Healthier move. This is scary. What feels supportive today, company logistics or quiet? You're validating and offering agency without promising what you can't control. Burnout and trauma sit in a special category. With burnout, the system is already overdrawn. Take a bubble bath, or gratitude fixes everything, adds tasks and pressure. Evidence is clear. Suppression predicts greater distress in high-load groups. Psychiatry Research, 2022, ADA. What helps is load reduction paired with validation and one microstep. You're fried. Let's cut 2 non-essentials this week and protect a 20-minute reset daily. With trauma, toxic positivity can re-traumatize. It made you stronger, skip safety. First principle is stabilization. You're safe with me. We can go slow. Action comes later. Identity-based stress, like racism, discrimination, or chronic marginalization, makes cheerleading especially harmful. I don't see color, or love wins, erases lived risk and signals. Don't bring this here. That increases isolation, and isolation predicts worse mental health. Try. I hear you. That was wrong. How can I support, listen, advocate, or help create boundaries? You're joining reality, not painting over it. Parenting is loaded with positivity traps. You're fine. Big kids don't cry. And be grateful teach kids to distrust their bodies. Then as teens, they either shut down or explode. Better scripts are short and concrete. You're mad the game ended. That's okay. Timer or one more round after dinner. You're validating and offering choices. That combo trains regulation. Workplace crises are where good vibes only become systemic. During layoffs, restructures, or public failures, pep rallies backfire. People's bodies already register threat. If leaders add spin, the gap widens, trust drops, risks go underground. What actually stabilizes is transparent signal. Here's what's true, here's what we don't know, here's what we're doing this week, and here's where we need your eyes. Add a red flags lane in every update. You reduce uncertainty, which lowers arousal more than slogans ever will. Forbes. Workplace safety literature. Religious or spiritual contexts can slip into bypassing. Have faith. Everything happens for a reason, may comfort some, but when used to silence pain they become pressure. A better pairing, compassion plus practice. Your pain is real. Can I pray with you, bring a meal, or sit quietly? You honor experience and offer concrete care. High achievement cultures, medicine, startups, athletics, often reward stoicism. No excuses, hustle harder. Winners stay positive. The physiology says otherwise. Prolonged suppression increases vascular resistance and degrades decision-making under load. Suppression, stress physiology literature. In these arenas, positivity must track effort and data, not feelings denial. You're gassed, recovery is part of the plan. Today, technique review, lighter load, sleep check. That keeps performance and biology aligned. Financial strain is another hotspot. Money comes and goes can sound like empathy, but often defers action. Chronic money stress is chronic threat. Help the body by pairing validation with clarity. Scary makes sense. Let's look at the last 30 days and identify one expense to cut by Friday. Specificity reduces alarm because there's a finish line. Finally, mental health crises. Anxiety spikes, depressive episodes, intrusive thoughts. This is where positivity can be dangerous. Snap out of it. Smile more. Or choose happiness shames and delays treatment. Safer language. This is heavy. I'm with you. Let's call your clinician or text a hotline together. If there's any risk of self-harm, escalate care now. Presence and practical support beat pep talks every time. The pattern across all these cases is the same. The higher the stakes, the more positivity needs permission, precision, and proof. Permission to feel. Precision about what's true. Proof in a next step that fits the moment. That's how you protect hearts and nervous systems while still moving forward. Building emotionally safe environments. Let's turn all this into spaces where people can be real without paying a price. Emotionally safe environments don't happen by accident. They're designed. 3 pillars: clear norms, predictable rituals, and fast repairs. If you install those, you lower threat, reduce the urge to suppress, and get better decisions and deeper trust. Start with norms that make signal welcome. One sentence can shift a culture. We don't shame signals, we thank them. Say it out loud and post it where you meet. Pair it with a simple rule of engagement. Feelings first, fixes second. In practice, that means every tough conversation starts with a 20-second reflection. What's the key fact, and how does it feel? Before anyone offers solutions. This isn't fluffy. It closes the mismatch that keeps cortisol looping. Next, rituals. Rituals remove guesswork, and guesswork is threat. Use quick, repeatable structures that surface reality without drama. At work, run a 2-minute red risk. Remedy at the top of meetings. One red flag, the concrete risk. One proposed remedy with an owner. Add a feelings tag in one word. Stressed, calm, uncertain. That micro-label restores prefrontal control and keeps the amygdala from hijacking discussion. At home, do a 5-minute evening check-in. One win, one wobble, one wish for tomorrow. No fixing during the share. Solutions come after consent. Language is your safety gear. Ban the shortcuts that spike shame. At least, just, should. And don't be negative. Replace them with the praise checklist. Permission, reality, alignment, increment, specificity, exit. Before you speak, scan. Did I ask what they want? Reflect what's true, match tone. Offer one small step, make it concrete, and give a pause point. 2 silent seconds to run this saves 20 minutes of cleanup later. Design the space for bodies, not just words. Chairs at angles instead of a face-off lowers defensiveness. Keep cold water and tissues visible. Signals you expect real feelings. Dim bright overheads during heavy topics. Softer light reduces physiological arousal. Build pauses in by default. A 60-second breath break after bad news helps the HPA axis downshift, so people can think again. Clarify roles, so emotions have a lane. In teams, designate a signal catcher who collects red flags without debate, then schedules them for triage. In families, pick a weekly ops hour where logistics live, so conflicts don't bleed into bedtime. When emotions show up outside the lane, validate and move them to the container. Make sense you're tense. Let's park this for our ops hour so we can give it attention. Psychological safety thrives on predictable follow-through. When someone raises a risk, close the loop visibly. Log it, assign an owner, set a date, and report back. The fastest way to teach suppression is letting signals vanish. The fastest way to teach honesty is showing signals cause action. Resilience Lab, better up. Boundaries are part of safety, not the opposite. Model time limits and capacity limits. I can listen for 15, then I need to focus, or I can help draft, not own. Boundaries prevent resentment, which is suppression's cousin. Post shared boundaries where it's normal to see them. Office hours, no Slack windows, phone-free dinner. Train the basics. Most people don't know how to validate, ask consent, or set a boundary without apology. Do 5-minute drills. Pair up for vent or plan. Reps. Practice swapping, but for and. Practice the 2, 1 flow. 2 validations, 2 questions, 1 boundary. Reps make safety automatic when stakes rise. Create anti-gaslighting anchors, so reality doesn't get steamrolled by cheer. For teams, maintain a living risk board with facts, not vibes. For families, keep a shared calendar and a weekly budget snapshot. Pair those with a temperature red, green, yellow, red. It's easier to validate when everyone can see the same data. Repair quickly when you miss. You will miss. The safe move is naming it fast. I minimize that. Let me try again. This is hard, and I'm listening. That one-liner drops shoulders and reopens trust. In groups, build a norm. When someone says repair, all pause and reset. Finally, measure safety like any other metric. Short pulse checks. On a scale of 1 to 5, did you feel safe to raise concerns this week? Track the trend, not perfection. When the score dips, ask, what made it costly to speak up? Then fix one thing: meeting structure, response time, workload. Safety grows where signals change what happens next. Do this consistently, and you'll notice the telltales. Fewer "I'm fine" masks, more early warnings, shorter conflicts, better sleep, and real optimism returning. Not forced smiles, earned ease. That's an emotionally safe environment doing its job. Implementation plan: 30-day toxic positivity reset. This is a month-long sprint to retrain your nervous system. your language, and your habits so optimism becomes fuel, not a mask. For weekly themes, daily drills, and minimal friction, keep a small notebook or notes app. You'll track one metric, tension 1 to 10 before and after the main drill. Lower numbers over time mean you're rewiring. Week 1, signal first. Goal: stop suppressing by default and map reality fast. Daily, 2-cycle breath reset. Inhale 4, exhale 8 twice. Then 1-sentence label. I feel X about Y. Tag time and place. 3F card once per day. 3 facts, 1 feeling word, 1 first move. Keep it under 2 minutes. Swap but for and in self-talk. Out loud if possible. I'm stressed, and I'll write for 5 minutes. Micro-practice. Worry window at 3:30 p.m., 10 minutes. List top 3 worries, and 1 check for each. Outside that window say, not now, 3:30. End of day, tension score before bed routine, 1 line. What reduced it most? Week 2, validation and language. Goal: make your words regulate, not escalate. Daily, 2-2, 1 flow with a real person. 2 validations, 2 consent questions, 1 boundary. Pick a low-stakes moment. Phrase swap drill. Catch and replace 1 toxic phrase. At least becomes makes sense this is heavy, and praise scan before giving feedback. Permission, reality, alignment, increment, specificity, exit. If 1 is missing, pause. Micro-practice. Mirror plus label. Reflect 1 observable plus 1 feeling. You're quiet and look tense. Stop there, let them confirm. End of day. Write your best validation line of the day. Keep a bank. Week 3, micro-action over avoidance. Goal: convert arousal into movement and close loops. Daily, 10-minute action pod. Pick 1 avoided item, set a timer, take the smallest step that moves it forward. Stop at 10, even if you're in flow, to build trust you'll return. Red risk, remedy for 1 context. 1 red flag, concrete risk, 1 remedy with owner and date. Solo or with your team. Environment nudge, 2-minute tidy of the space you work or rest in. Reduced visual noise lowers threat. Micro-practice, social signal. Send 1 clear ask with a time box. Rough day. Can you listen for 8 minutes at 7? End of day. Track loop closures. Count how many first moves happened. 0 is data, not failure. Week 4, systems and safety. Goal: make the new behaviors automatic and shared. Daily, install a ritual. 5-minute evening check-in at home, or 2-minute red risk, remedy at work. Keep it on calendar invites. Set shared boundaries. Post 2 visible guardrails, focus hours, no Slack windows, phone-free meals. Name the purpose. Protect brain bandwidth. Repair reps. When you minimize or fix too fast, say the repair line within a minute. I jump to fixing. This is hard. What do you need? Micro-practice. Anchor board. Maintain a live list of facts for stressful areas. Budget snapshot, project risks. Pair with a temperature color, green/yellow/red. End of day, safety pulse. 1 to 5. Did I feel safe to raise a concern today? If low, write 1 thing that would increase safety tomorrow. Weekly reviews, 20 minutes, Sundays. Week 1 review, scan your tension deltas. What lowered numbers most? Breath, label, 3F. Pick the top 2, do more. Note triggers where labeling was hardest. Plan a pre-label cue there. Week 2 review. Identify your most effective validation phrase and your most common toxic reflex. Write the swap on a sticky. Place it where you talk most. Week 3 review. Look at action pod stats. Which time of day worked? Commit to that slot. List 3 avoided items. Schedule their first 10-minute steps this week. Week 4 review. Audit rituals and boundaries. What stuck felt easy, keep. What failed needs shrinking. Make it smaller, not louder. Add 1 signal catcher. Roll to a meeting or family ops hour. Special case scripts for high-stakes moments, grief. I'm so sorry. I'm here. Want company or quiet? Then silence. Medical uncertainty. This is scary. Today, what helps? Logistics, distraction, or rest? Burnout. Your load is unsustainable. Let's cut 2 non-essentials and protect a 20-minute recovery block daily. Identity stress. That was wrong. Do you want me to listen, speak up, or help set a boundary? Team crisis. Here's what's true, what's unknown, what we're doing this week. Red flags. Common pitfalls and fixes. Pitfall. Skipping validation to stay positive. Fix. 1 sentence label first. If words stick, label in writing. Pitfall. Overcommitting to rituals. Fix, shrink by half. 2 minutes is enough to anchor a habit. Pitfall, rescuing instead of respecting. Fix, always ask, ideas or witness? Pitfall, shame after slips. Fix, repair line then resume. Reps, not perfection. At day 30, compare your first 5 tension scores to your last 5. If they're lower or recover faster, your system's learning. Keep the 2 drills that move the needle, and treat positivity as an add-on after signal, not a substitute for it. Troubleshooting, common mistakes and fixes. Let's clean up the sneaky ways, good vibes only slips back in, and what to do instead. Mistake 1, positivity before permission. You jump in with, "You've got this," before asking what they need. Fix, lead with consent. Do you want ideas or a witness? If they want a witness, validate and pause. If they want ideas, offer one small, testable step. Consent prevents platitudes from sounding like pressure. Mistake 2, at least reflex. You minimize to soothe. At least you have a job. Fix, swap at least for makes sense. Makes sense this feels heavy, and we can map the next step. The and keeps reality and momentum side by side. The nervous system stops fighting the mismatch. Mistake 3, timeline cheerleading. You promise speed you can't control. You'll bounce back in no time. Fix, respect pace. Healing takes the time it takes. Today, what reduces this by 10%? Small reductions beat false deadlines. Mistake 4, comparative gratitude. You rank pain to force perspective. Fix, use parallel truth. Others may have it worse, and this still hurts. You lower shame without erasing the signal. Mistake 5, fixing without mirroring. You hand solutions to a dysregulated brain. Fix, mirror one cue and label one feeling first. You're quiet, and your shoulders are tense. This is a lot. Then ask consent. Mirroring reopens prefrontal bandwidth, so solutions can land. Mistake 6, vague optimism. It'll work out gives no finish line. Fix, anchor to specifics. We're 2 days behind. 3 tasks to triage by 3 p.m. Who owns what? Specifics drop uncertainty, which drops arousal. Mistake 7, endless venting with no exit. You validate forever until both of you are flooded. Fix, boundary the container. I can listen for 10 minutes, then let's choose one step. Boundaries protect connection and prevent resentment. Mistake 8, self-gaslighting. You tell yourself, I'm overreacting, be positive. Fix, self-validate then act. Given the load, my alarm makes sense. First move, email for clarity. Facts plus feeling plus first move breaks the shame loop. Mistake 9, affirmations that feel fake. You repeat grand statements your body rejects. Fix, shrink to believable. I can do 5 minutes. Specific, credible lines reduce cognitive dissonance and nudge action. Mistake 10, skipping breath and label. You try to think your way out while your body's still redlined. Fix, 2 slow exhale cycles, then a 1-sentence label. That's the quickest way to downshift the HPA axis enough for thinking to help. Mistake 11, culture-level pep rallies. Teams open meetings with hype and no risk lane. Fix, install red risk, remedy at the top of agendas. 1 red flag, concrete risk, 1 remedy with owner and date. Add 1 feeling word. That structure invites signal and keeps cortisol from spiking. Mistake 12, no repair after a miss. You minimized, they withdrew, and now it's awkward. Fix, use a fast repair line. I jump to fixing. This is hard. What do you need? Repair reopens safety in seconds. Mistake 13, treating discomfort as danger. You bail at the first tight chest. Fix, reframe discomfort as a compass. Tight means this matters. Breathe, then 1 step. You teach your nervous system that feeling is survivable and useful. Mistake 14, outsourcing regulation. You expect others to keep you calm. Fix, build a personal signal shelf. A brisk 5-minute walk, a page of messy journaling. Push-ups plus a long exhale, a 3-song tidy. Use it before tough talks. Mistake 15, ignoring sleep basics. You try scripts on a body that's fried. Fix, protect wind down. Dim lights an hour before bed. Externalize worries to a capture list with the earliest action time. And avoid big problem-solving late. Rest lowers baseline cortisol, so everything else works better. Run this checklist when you feel the urge to paste a smile over a knot in your stomach. 1 swap, 1 breath, 1 boundary. That's enough to pivot from toxic to healthy in the moment. Here's the takeaway. Healthy positivity starts with truth. Feel first, frame second, move third, so your brain stops wasting fuel holding beach balls underwater. If this helped, subscribe for practical, research-backed mental performance tools, and watch the next video where we build your personal signal shelf and install Red Risk Remedy in under 10 minutes. Drop "I'm in" below if you're running the 30-day reset.